Children of Deutschland, wildflowers of Germany, beautiful people. Everyone went home. Come on, you guys. I flew 8,000 miles to tell you my whole goddamn story. Hello. Come on over there. Come on. Fucking Christ. Everyone went home. Great. Thank you guys for having me. And listen to this shit. Listen, I only got 25 minutes, so I'm going to pack 46 years of bullshit into that 25 minutes starting right now. Here we go, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron James Draplin. I am 46 years old. Bit of a typo here. I'm 46 years old. I'm a graphic designer, and this is Tall Tales from a Large Man, you guys. Okay, I was born in 1973. My dad had a lot of hair as a little kid. I was raised in a small town in northern Michigan, United States, with a little sister and a mom and a dad and all the basic shit, and grew up in this small little town with a mom and a dad, you know, riding bikes, playing baseball. In that little town, if you aren't on the sports teams, you're not shit, right? So I tried my hand at basketball and didn't go over pretty well, you know, see? I was a skateboarder in high school and a snowboarder, and we discovered punk rock, and our lives changed, you know, and it wasn't about sports anymore. It was about art and friendship and being together. So I was a snowboarder. This took me all the way out west, but when I got out west at 19 years old in 1993, I didn't have a computer. Everything was analog. We were all over the West, no money, snowboarding, but I was drawing, right? I didn't have a computer yet. Painting, whatever it took, lettering futon covers. And I started going to Alaska in the summer of 1996, and that summer, that's where I saved all my money to buy my first computer. And while you guys are having your nice lives here in Berlin, well, you guys, look at, I'm sleeping on the train in between shifts. Look at, someone put a mosquito on my lip. Fun, huh? Yeah, 4 summers of this shit so I can get a computer. How do you translate that one? I don't know. So, I come from a family and a mom and a dad and sisters and stuff and a nephew, right? I have a girlfriend. Isn't she lovely? Her name is Lee. That's Lee. 13 years we've been together. Lucky girl, huh? Lucky. I know. But I hope you guys know that I make logos. This is my favorite thing to do, is make logos. I have kept myself busy all these years making logos. Now, some of these are for lots of money. Some are for no money. One of these I got paid 25 grand. One of these I got paid a burrito. All right. Boy, tough crowd, huh? Wake up. What? 8,000 miles. 8,000 miles. I'll tell you my whole story. Okay. I hope you know about FieldNotes. We got a merch table over there. This is 12 years of FieldNotes. I couldn't find ones I liked, so I made my own. And now we have 13 employees, and we have real adults running this thing. If it would have been me, I would have screwed it up. But we are 12 years into this thing, and we've never had a penny of debt, right? All these posters and things that I make, there was no plan here. It was just fun to make stuff, and then I started to sell it. And it's turned into this whole monster. We travel all over, the world selling this stuff, but it didn't come from a business plan. It was just meant it wasn't supposed to happen. But when, all this stuff, whatever you know about me, I hope you know that, in my book, this is my favorite page, because this page was about graphic design that I just did for my friends using this little mouse finger. There's no money on this page. This might have been a cancer benefit or a buddy's band logo or whatever it was, but I used graphic design just for the hell of it, right, to help somebody, and that exists. But no one ever talks about that shit because there's no money or ROI or clicks or dinks or fucking Instagram, whatever. There's none of that. Today is number 440 times I've gone and told my story somewhere in the world. So I got to put another little Berlin on there. I go all over the world doing workshops, merch tables. Yeah, merch tables. So this is Tall Tales from a Large Man. But first, how we do what we do. I like to draw in my little field notes. This is the way it's been all my life, and it's no big mystery. I make lists. I make sketches. I think. We did it today, in the workshop. Whoever came to the workshop, thank you so much, but that's how quick I work. And, there's no secret to this stuff. When you go see the otters at the Oregon Zoo, and with my nephew, and you sketch that thing, it turns into this. It's very simple, right? A quick sketch there turns into a t-shirt graphic. Or this poster for Fender guitars turns into this, right? But it all starts on paper. And yet, my girlfriend, if I try to sketch in the middle of the night while she's sleeping, and she's not here to defend herself, but she snores like a Husqvarna chainsaw, man, just wah! And if I get my pencil out and my paper out, she wakes up instantly. So in the middle of the night, with this little bratwurst finger, I'm on my fucking phone, making this shit, which turns into, when I get up in the morning, turns into this. That's the truth, okay? So this is what it looks like when I make a logo. You know, to work that quick today, that's what my artboards look like. This is a privilege to be able to do this, right? They didn't tell me it was going to be like this when I was a kid. I was told graphic design was going to be a job and not fun, and about hours and wages and mean bosses and mean clients, and it wasn't that. It was a little bit of that. But that's where I got to live the last 26 years. You know, vectors are free. When I do this, that is such a privilege. They can't do that. I don't know, when you're insurance salesman or something. They don't do this. I get to do this for a living. I'm very thankful. So here's the DDC logo graveyard. See, for everything that you see up on the screen here, there's 99 other things that went away. And so here's the logo graveyard. Look, see? These are things that died and are gone forever. Maybe they'll come back to life someday. I don't know. But there's been a lot of stuff over the years. And what happens to this stuff? There's still life here. Every now and again, I show it on my website or something, on my Instagram. But I'm just amazed how many things went away that still could have been cool. But this is the process. You show a bunch of stuff, and you work your way down to that final thing, So there's been a lot of this stuff that's gone away. And I mean, where does it go? There's something there. But it didn't make it. Don't ask, okay? Yeah, there you are. There you are, crowd. I got you. Okay, there you are. All right, we're going. We're moving. There's too much shit in this presentation. How the hell am I? Okay, going junking. I go looking for dead things. I went to the flea market the other day. I went to the flea market. And these guys from Turkey were all pissed off because I was taking pictures of all the shit that they stole from, I don't know, someone died and they try to sell it, and it's the same way in America, and you take a picture, the guy gets pissed off because, I have tons of pictures. This shit's for free. I just don't want it to go away because when I find these things, there's life there. There's still life. And I use these things to learn from these things and use it in my work because people were using one color in an effective way 50 years ago. And that doesn't go away. That sticks around. And I just try to learn from this stuff and use it in my work that you'll see over there and be smart and not complain about graphic design. Be thankful that I'm allowed to do this, So this stuff reminds me of that. When you see these guys right here, and they look awesome on this big screen, but remember, they're the size of your pinky nail. And do you see how the chin connects on that red devil? Illustrator won't show you that stuff anymore. Painting people, would paint these things. Back in 1970, they understood these little tricks. That's the stuff I look for and don't want to get rid of. I don't want to forget. Okay. The stuff we've been up to. Now, I live in I live in a little house. I paid my house off with graphic design in 2011 and have had no debt since 2000. That's 8 years now. But I got to build a studio behind my little house that I paid off, right? Because we were paying for a big studio downtown and driving 10 kilometers, and it would take 1 hour in the Portland traffic. No more of that shit, right? So I built this studio. And it's upstairs. So my mom, who comes from Michigan now every 2 or 3 months, she comes from Michigan. We made a little apartment for her up there. So she's got her own shower and shitter, and everything she needs up there. My mom's 75 years old, my mom. But see, every single step along the way, I would use my brain and my Adobe Illustrator to solve things. So when these guys would say, hey, when you come up the stairs, you can either have a railing or if we put a bookcase, that'll be under code. So they'd send me a dimension. I would go into Illustrator and I would make these things. And I'd get home from Berlin or whatever the hell a couple days later, and this would be built. That's $300 worth of plywood. So amazing, right? So this is my record wall, right, where all my records go. And that's only about 10 pieces of plywood. But these guys built me 138. That's where all my books go, and my records go here, right? There's my buddy John Hodgman, actor and humorist and author, in front of all my records there last summer, So this is a big part of I never thought this would happen, to have everything in one spot like that. But it's happening. And we spared no expense, because the last thing we did, we connected the back to the little house with $1,500 worth of concrete, right? And I got the best guy to do the concrete, and he put the last DDC logo in, and that was the last little project. Look at that. But wait, look at that. Look at his fingers. See? Yeah. Nothing but the best, you guys. Nothing but the best. See? God, tough crowd, huh? His fingers were cut all off. Okay. There it is. Okay. In my travels, when I come here, this is an intense town, man. If it isn't the history or what I remember of the wall when I was a little boy, 14 years old, and hearing these stories, about bands singing about it and stuff, that's what I remember. I remember the footage and stuff. But when I go places, I'm not really looking at fashion. I'm not really looking at what's cool. I'm looking at shit like this. When I went to Italy, these are the coolest stairs I've ever seen in my life, because they were so simple, and it's almost like perfectly designed. And yet I was told, no, these are stairs for peasants. They're cheap, they're easy to make, and that's what peasants, they don't even have money to put a railing. And I just didn't understand that. It was so beautiful and so elegant, and I learned so much from that one little move. That is so beautiful to me. Because if you have this in America, that's 200,000 euros or whatever, some shit, But you go to Italy, it's 200 euros. That's amazing. So I got to build my own stairs in my backyard, and I really thought about how those guys built it. I only got 4, but still. See? Look it, right? Yeah. Here's the guy who built my shop, my buddy Robbie. Yeah? See? We made him his own sticker, some old Black Sabbath album covers. Yeah, made his own sticker. See, look it. There he is, okay? Builder, yeah. And yet, I was so excited to make my own studio. I want to make a logo for the studio. I was so excited. There's so much energy happening inside that studio. And one guy on my Instagram had one comment that killed the whole logo. Yeah, fun. Fun, huh? Yeah. Now I got you. Yeah, now I got you. Yeah, fucking. That's a fucking one comment. This goddamn social media. My favorite paper company, French Paper. This is a dream of mine. I got to be in kids draw me, right? And they present me these illustrations and they say, Draplin, thank you, I'm a fan, here's a drawing. And I collected every single one. I got their email, their phone number, and said thank you, because someday, maybe it'd show up in the book or something like this. And all these kids who drew me, we made this big postcard set, right? So these kids, these guys get no light shined on them, right? And we made 30,000 of these sets of these kids who would mess with me, and then they're here with their little bio on the back for my favorite paper company, French Paper. Got to give them out. It was so awesome. My buddy Brian French, 6 generations of the French Paper Company. I got to make a typeface called DDC Hardware, and I saw this from a mile away in Mississippi, and that night, I went to my computer, and I couldn't find this typeface. Something so simple, these simple rounded edges. And, I went through all the folders from the 90s and the 2000s and all that shit, and it was embarrassing to me that something so dull, wasn't out there. So I built my own, pissed off, in 2005. And, you make an A, and you flip it, and you have a U, and before you know it, you have a set of characters. But I'm not a typographer. Although I spoke at Typo 2 times here in Berlin. And last summer, when I was there speaking at that beautiful place by the Reichstag, or whatever the hell that thing was, that beautiful place out in the woods, some typographer guy who I won't mention came up to me and he goes, Aaron Draplin, you're not a typographer. You're making typefaces now, but you're not a typographer. I go, no, I'm not a typographer. I'm profitable. So guess who's pissed off now? Well, sorry. But my buddies helped me make this into a proper typeface, and this thing works for over 100 languages now, all over the world. And it's very simple. It's not meant to be cool. It's meant to be functional. It's not meant to be fashionable. It's meant to work, and that's all it needs to be. What's going on over there? Some kind of scrapbooking class or something? I flew 8,000 miles. Hour 2 of 9 starts now. Okay. And check this shit out. You guys know Stranger Things? Stranger Things? You guys know? Look at. And the Scoops Ahoy. There's DDC hardware. Yeah, seeing Stranger Things. I was excited. Now here's just something fun. Why not? I came all this way. I might as well show you everything. You know, on your keyboard, and you got all sorts of hair and fur and shit inside your keyboard. Well, I started hitting it on the thing, and look how much shit came out of my keyboard. Isn't that amazing? I just thought I'd show you. We had some podcasters here, right? Some podcasters, we were here today. Well, my favorite podcaster, Mark Maron, he put me on his podcast, and that was amazing. But I got to do a poster for him, and then he put me on his podcast, and this is a big, big American podcast. So I'm a fan, you know, and to see this, you know, this guy come to my shop, you know, and I made him sign all the posters because he was doing a show there. But see, here I'm just a designer. He calls me, I make the poster, he does the show, I get a paycheck, and it's client, you know, whatever. But I'm a fan, you know? And when he put me on his podcast, it reached a lot of people, man. A lot of people listened. And it was terrifying, you know, because it was like, this is my favorite guy, and I'm not supposed to be on something that big. But that's cool, because now I work for him. And he calls me, and he'll say, make a T-shirt with my face, man. And I'll make a T-shirt with his face. And then, of course, we make keychains and shit. But see, I'm still that kid. He's my client, and he's my hero. But it's like, I don't let him know that, you know? I'm just excited to be involved. And there he is in my shop, checking out my guitar, Mark Maron, my buddy. And he wears my hat now, which is pretty cool. And every time he wears this, I sell 40 of these things. Isn't that amazing how that shit works? Very weird. Okay, shh. Here's a special project. How many minutes I got left? I got 6 minutes left? How the hell am I going to get 22 more years into 6 minutes? Don't play any music. Don't play music. Shh, 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 shh. Look what's coming. Look what's coming. I got to make a watch for Timex, right? Look at those. With DDC hardware, and I did all the little nicks and ticks and all the little bullshit that goes into that. And these will be delivered by Christmas time for our merch table. But the coolest part about this, how much do you think that watch would cost, right? Other guys, you know, Carhartt work in progress. You got the stores here. I walked by one. Well, the Carhartt version of this same exact watch, 200 euros. Sold a ton of them. What I love about this watch, I get to sell this watch for 70 euros on my merch table. Not 200, fuck all that. It's the same amount of ink, same strap, same stuff, but it's a fair price. Because what I like about Timex, any person can go to Target, our big store in the States, and they can buy a watch, a nice Timex, for $65. I'm proud of that. Not 200, because it's cool, $65. So, let's go. I got to work for an up-and-coming outfit called NASA. You might have heard of it. Because they see this shit that I make, because the universe is expanding in every direction right this second, right? So they see this shit I make, and I talk about this stuff. And then I got to make a poster for Voyager 2. Voyager 2 has been beeping off into space for 40 years. Beeping at 39,000 miles an hour for all my life. Carl Sagan sent this out in 1977. It's been beeping off into space for 45 years or whatever the hell it is. It is 13 trillion miles away. So this thing is pointed, Voyager 1 is pointed at the nearest star. Voyager 2 is pointed the opposite direction. These are exploring the universe. Voyager 1, same thing. Pointed at the nearest star, has been going 46 years, 40,000 miles in the vacuum of space, for it to pass the nearest star. The nearest star is 2.5 light years away. for it to pass the nearest star, this little satellite, at 40,000 miles an hour, 13 trillion miles, it only has 77,000 years to go. That's real, right this second. And I got to do a poster for it, and it was so exciting. And when they put it up, 500,000 likes hit, because people grew up with this thing, thinking about how insignificant we are. Just specks within a speck, within a speck, within a speck, and that shit's real right now. And yet, when I made the poster, we got it done, we got it approved, we put it up in the world, and there was a bit of a typo. I had the fucking thing turned the wrong way. And I got 2,000 pins coming, pointed the wrong way too. So anyway, you guys, when you work for NASA, check to see which way the fucking satellite is pointing, okay? Thank you. Okay. Fucking 3 minutes left. Okay, new selfies for a new world. You want a selfie? Roll the dice with the DDC. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. We've been doing these. Oh, yeah, tip to tip, man. Getting right up in there. Getting right up. Sure, it makes sense because I come from a close family. Me and my dad would get right in there. Why not? Hey, by the way, we're just this close. My mom trying all the hair and shit and fur, trying to get the photo. We're this close. But it looks, I lost 1,000 followers on my Instagram when I posted this. And then we're laughing, because that's my dad. Yeah, anyway, that's my dad. That's how we said goodbye. Here's an update. My nephew Oliver, man, he's 9, a little skateboarder, plays baseball. We made his jersey for his team. You know, we raised this crowdfunding, I guess they call it. But 400 people bought this jersey, and it allowed me to give jerseys to the entire team. You know, it was so cool. And those kids turned on me in an instant. But Oliver this summer was learning how to skateboard, and I'm going to make my first skateboard deck. I gave all the prototypes to all those little shits just to test them out. And these kids went crazy. So that's my, I've been working for the Rack and Tours, Jack White rock and roll band, doing posters all winter long. There's Oliver's hand, look at it, turned into a poster for Seattle, and we got to go see the show. There's Jack and the band, but my buddy is Patrick Keeler, so I work a little bit of rock and roll. Here's a fucking email I should have never opened. So here's the deal. I'm flying last summer. I'm flying over to Berlin. And I'm flying I go to Amsterdam, right? So that kind of email when you're on the plane and it's the last email you get and the plane's taking off and it says there's attachments and you're fucking hitting the thing and the plane's taking off and you don't see the attachments because the only thing I read was this. What? Fuck, oh fuck. And the fucking planes, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000, 9 hours on the plane. I got to think about this shit. And I land in goddamn Rod or whatever the hell, Amsterdoozle, huh? And I land 9 hours later. I'm smuggling shit across the border. I got to worry about that. I got to worry about this. And I get my fucking Vodafone or whatever connection, and I see this. Fuck. Steve Bannon. Oh, fuck. And then I see this. Oh, Steve Bannon using FieldNotes. Fuck, but it gets worse. And then I see this. Oh, shit. Look at right there. Fucking goddamn it. Fucking fake fucking hair. For the record, Aaron James Draplin, 46 years old. Fuck Don Trump. Fuck Don Trump. Sorry. I'm already out of time. I got to work for Bernie, doing posters for Bernie. I got to work for Bernie. And look at. I went to the big art show, and there was no proof because I couldn't shake his hand, and then I was in the back. Look at. Yeah. Fucking crying back there. I got to work for Bernie. And then there I'm signing the posters. My buddy Evan. And there's my buddy Evan. So look at my buddy Evan. And then Peace. We've been making shit like this instead of this because they want this. We've been making a lot more of this and just giving this stuff out to the world and donating it to people and just making people have a dialogue, to talk about what the fuck is going on. Instead of going after him that day I made a painting for breast cancer. And I just find time in my life for this kind of stuff because This guy does not vote like me. But he held this up in his little town in Wisconsin, and people were beeping and flipping him off because he was saying this. He's voting Democrat next time. That's one guy. But see, my little poster helped him. Now, my little snow angel, Lee, my better half, she's pissed. And she made her own little project called Notes to Self. And my favorite little card she made is this little card, because that's a little warning for Don Trump and little things and little goodies. You can find this at our merch table over there, little things and stuff. Check her out, _Notes to Self. They've been tattooing my shit all over people. I don't even know where. You know, Jerry Garcia poster. It showed up in a bunch of places. This shit's getting weirder. That's just happening. And this, when I went to Birmingham, these are some good-looking UK blokes, and that's on that. Look at those weird, like, fucking shave things. Ugh. And then I got to work for Wilco. I got to go fast. I got to work for Wilco. That was awesome. I can't even tell this story. My dad took me to a Tigers baseball game when I was 9 years old, and he told me at the start of the game, this is 5 years ago, but he told me at the start of the game, I'm going to catch you a ball. And you never tell a kid at a pro game you're going to catch him a ball. 7th inning, the ball comes back, bounces. My dad's got his beer. He leaps. He catches the ball. They lift him. Fucking pretzels flying and fucking hot dogs and shit and mustard everywhere and beer. He caught the ball. He stands up and he goes, puts it in my lap, and he goes, I told you I was going to catch you a ball, Aaron. That's a real story. So that's in the book. Favorite project from 2019, or something everyone needs. See, I love this kind of stuff. And it's a weird time in America, because when you show this kind of stuff, you're suddenly some weird nationalist bullshit. No, I believe that we are, United States and Germany are nations of immigrants, like I was raised, and everyone can come there. And when I show this stuff, that's what this means to me. But yet, when I mock these things up, I have to apologize to people, because they say, what does that mean? Are you some kind of like nationalist? No, I believe that anyone can come to America and make it, or anyone can go to anywhere for that matter. When I got to work for my country in 2009 for President Obama, this wasn't for Democrats versus Republicans. This was for all of America. And that was in 4 days we did that logo. It was terrifying, because that logo went all over America, every little town, because they were putting new roads in, Mr. Obama. And see, I wanted to meet him, but I was on the road somewhere, and Lee got to meet him. And she's in Portland. She goes down to the airport. They go through the Secret Service and all that shit, and she gets to meet Mr. Obama. And I'm in goddamn Berlin or something, entertaining you two. Thanks. And she gets to meet Mr. Obama, and then I got to meet him a summer later. And he comes off the plane. He gets close. I start to cry. He gets up to me. I'm crying, and all I could say to the leader of the free world is, I go, I'm gonna miss you, man. That's what I said. But I got the handshake, and look at that guy's face. Because I'm crying in front of the president. Look at. Yeah. And yet, this year, I got to make a stamp for America. I got to make a stamp. And the first printing of the stamp was 30 million stamps, right? And the day I got to go get it in March in Breckenridge, Colorado, I cried my eyes out, and I thought the woman was going to call security. I thought she was going to call security. But I got to make a stamp for America. This is my buddy Fawn, and he is my postal carrier. And, he couldn't believe that I made a stamp. Aaron, I've been carrying mail for 20 years. No one's ever made a stamp. That's my buddy. See, look at making friends all over America, crying and shit. Look at action shot. Okay, well, you guys bill me for the overtime. Okay, son, shit for the Trailblazers. My buddies made a burger place. I got to do a lot of burger places in Berlin. I know, just chill out. But we got a new one in Portland, Oregon, and every cheeseburger in Portland, Oregon costs $19, $20, whatever. But when you go to Super Deluxe, the place I got to, I'm an owner with these guys. We did all the graphics, all the stuff, all the signage. The coolest part about Super Deluxe, when you go there on like a Tuesday like today, it's not a bunch of hipsters. It's guys in construction and stuff. Because you can go there and get your meal for $7. And that's impressive to me, because it's not just for those who can afford it. It's for everybody. And I'd rather work on that than work on just the coolest shit, FieldNotes and Wasser Maluna. Practice that. How is it? Close enough. Okay, I'm over time. Pretzels. I got to do one of the first LGBTA cards because shit's changing and love is love in Germany. Love is love in Michigan. Love is love in Oregon. All right. Little posters that raise money for kids who don't ever get to see the woods, and now they get to go from the city to the woods. Helps these kids. And Dinosaur Jr. saw that, and then I got to work for John Hodgman. And this is how this shit goes. Someone sees something they dig, I get a call, and I keep on going. And it's never up here Nike or whatever the fuck, you know. It's always very relaxed and down here with my friends. John Hodgman, his new book cover that just came out. John Hodgman. What else? There's John Hodgman. Look at that, 2 DPI. And then they put me on a magazine cover. Magazine died 6 months later. Anyway. I got to work for the biggest country star in America, this guy named Chris Stapleton, and I got excited because I was like, here's a t-shirt graphic. They were like, we already have 9 semis, so that's real. And I got to do stickers and patches and things for Chris, and then I got to meet him and stare his ass down, a little client meeting. Yeah. Jason Isbell, mustard pins, San Francisco. Look at, there's Lee in the back. What time are we going to have dinner? What time are we going to have? All that kind of shit. Stuff for Rooster Teeth, things and stuff, skateboards, things. This kid came to my shop just before I moved last summer. And he knocked on the door. And he's 12 years old. And the door opens, and I'm kind of like, I don't know you guys. Hi, hi, I'm Aaron. And she says, she's holding her son, and she says, my son Isaac, you are his favorite graphic designer. Could we meet you? And I said, well, come on in here. So he comes into the shop, and I sign his book, and I give him field notes and stickers and shit. And I say, Isaac, how old are you, man? He says, I'm 12. I said, you're 12? Well, what are you doing? He says, Aaron Draplin, I want to be a logo designer just like you someday. And I almost started to fucking cry, and I said, well, have you made any logos yet? And he says, yeah, you want to see? So he pulls his phone out, he dials some shit up, and he shows me this. And that's when I heard it. Can you hear it? All the way from Seattle, Washington, right now across the United States. Can you hear it? Across the big pond, all across goddamn Belgium, right across Germany. That's the sound of my fucking stock price plummeting. Because if this little shit's doing this at 12 years old, what's that mean for the rest of us? We're in trouble. And I told him to get the hell out of my shop. Now we're buddies. And we trade graphics, and we're buddies. I'm 46. He's 14 now, my little buddy Isaac. Our book, you guys, they got a stack of books over there. Come buy the book, you guys. This was not supposed to happen. I did not get into graphic design to make a book. I got into graphic design to take care of my mom, take care of my sisters, my buddy Dale. Lee, my brother-in-law, my nephew. I didn't get into graphic design for awards and shit and books and, medals and stuff. This book, New York City told me, you'll be lucky to get through the first printing. We are in the 8th printing. They just did 7,500 in Spanish. That's incredible. So, New York City told me, if you're lucky, you'll sell 4,000. That's cool, man. In my life, 400's good. 4,000, if my buddies in a band sell 4,000 records, they have enough money to buy down payments on a home in Portland, Oregon. That's real. So that's where my mind goes. But here's the deal. 3 years later with the book is at 62,000, right? So, but here's the thing. New York told me it would never happen. And I just said, I'm going to hustle that thing everywhere. I'm going to sell that thing. What New York never saw, how many kids I gave that book to for free. Because it wasn't about, they make all the money, New York. They take 9 fingers and I get one little shitty nub, right? That's how it works in publishing. 62,000, hell yeah. Buy that book, you guys. Buy that merch. Come follow us. Come follow us. Thank you. Danke. Danke schön. This one's for my dad. Thanks for having me. Good night. Thank you. Come to that merch table. Thanks.